Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtown with Downstar, episode 213.
Damn.
And today we're here with my guy, TJ Hunt.
213.
213, bro. We're cooking, man.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, dude. Hey, pleasure to have you here, bro. Thank you so much for sitting with me.
Yeah, I just need to say off the rip, we've been trying to set this podcast up for a pretty long time, and it's been my annoying ass that's been really difficult to lock down. So I'm glad I should have been here on episode 150, but I'm here at 213 and I'm happy to be here.
It's all good, bro. Don't worry about it, man. I just know how it is with especially for somebody like you. You're just busy all day. You know, you just have things coming at you all the time.
Yeah, but I fucking hate that excuse, dude. I hate that oh, sorry, dude. I'm really fucking busy right now. I can cuss, right?
You can say whatever you want.
All right. Yeah, I hate that. I don't hate when people say it to me, but I hate when I say it because I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't like coming off that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it definitely does, dude. And I feel the same way. You know, as a fellow business owner, dude, I just know how it gets throughout the day. You just got to facilitate everything and make sure this package gets shipped and make sure this gets done and this. And then you forget things,
and then
you
realize, oh shit, I've forgotten 3 things I was supposed to do 2 hours ago, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. So let's talk about it, man. Your plate seems pretty full right now. Do you feel like it is?
Yeah, but there's always room for more. I don't know. I think that everyone that is another cringy, not cringy, but another thing I don't like to say, every entrepreneur, I hate self-diagnosing myself as that, but I think everyone else who is a quote-unquote self-entrepreneur never feels like their plate is full enough when it's you have food creeping off the sides. You're always just that's the thrill and enjoyment, and there's a lot going on, but there's so much more that I'm cramming on and figuring out how to manage to do more, and so there's a lot on my plate to answer your question.
No, I feel you on that, man. You know, I do the same, just fill my plate up as much as possible, and from the outside looking in, it's yo, dude, kind of chill out.
No, but at the same time, dude, I have this weird problem when people come up to me and they're like, dude, you're doing too much right now. You're overworking yourself. At the same time, I'm like, really? You think that? Because I'm that fucking fuels me. You notice me hustling?
Yeah.
So I have this weird egotistical oh, so you notice?
Yeah.
Dope. Because I love that. I love working so much harder than everyone else type of shit. I don't know. I enjoy I'm not gonna say the word hustle and grind. I refuse to say those words. But I enjoy the ethic. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, dude. It's only you'll know yourself when you're tapped out or when you have more to push, you know. And it kind of feels when people say, hey man, you're doing good, you're doing so much, how do you get it done? And then in your head you're like, dude, I feel like I didn't even do anything today.
No, I 100% feel like that. I think every day, at least for me personally, I'm riding the edge of being tapped out. Every 7 days I need that one day where I kind of decompress a little bit.
What does something like that consist of?
Decompressing?
Yeah.
Actually, this Sunday, me and Sabrina at the end of the day both sat down and we're like, wow, today was what a normal life would feel like for people. And I got all my work done. I'm super ahead in videos. Everything is booming, and we're set up for the next 3 months, for every business. Everything's really good. I was caught up on editing, caught up on emails, and woke up 8 a.m., went to a breakfast cafe with her and her family, went back to the house, watched 5 episodes of The Haunting of Bly Manor on Netflix, got to finish the show, made dinner around 5:30, had a cigar on the patio at 7.
A cigar?
Oh, it's, bad habits. And then I had a play video games from 8:30 to 11 p.m., played Call of Duty, and went to bed. And we were on the patio. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I've had a day where and I was so in my head, I was so I'm so caught up and everything's where it needs to be right now. There wasn't one area where I'm yeah, but this could be a little tighter right now, of performance. And I was I don't remember the last time I've actually felt calm. I'm not oh fuck, I can't waste time watching Netflix, or I can't waste time sitting on the couch because I need to edit, or I don't know. So that day was me and Sabrina both were like, this is one of the best days I've had in a very long time.
Yeah.
Just like doing nothing.
Yeah, those are rewarding days.
Yeah,
man.
they're like feel so good, but they're so rare. But that's what makes them rewarding.
Yeah. So let's get into your history, bro. Where were you born at?
So I'm a San Diego boy.
Okay.
My whole family is all Canada. So my whole like that is my like heritage, my roots. But I've been here my whole entire life. San Diego, California. Can't leave once I've like traveled the world. I've seen other places. I know it's out there. And what I have here is way too special, so I can never leave.
Yeah.
Although I want to because it's so expensive to live out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a San Diego boy, dog.
You want to know something crazy, dude?
Let's hear it.
This is probably the second time I've been to San Diego. And the first time was when I came to the shop the other time.
You're kidding me.
Yeah,
so you've
dude.
never like even gotten to see anything here.
I've never got to explore San Diego or anything, dude.
Why?
It's just, I don't know. It's far, you know?
It's not that far.
I mean, but when you have LA right there,
Yeah, but LA sucks.
I guess so.
Every person who lives in San Diego will say LA sucks.
Really?
And all my friends who now live in LA that were all raised in San Diego all say LA sucks.
Well, yeah,
they're just there because that's where shit's happening.
It does suck, but it's like where everything that I needed it to be was right
like
there.
yeah, I mean I feel that, and I also want for everyone listening, like, what? I love LA. It's like, yeah, LA is cool to visit, but living in LA
You could say it how you want, bro. It's all good. Just passing through LA right now, I'd say probably in the last year or so, it's just deteriorating. And just passing through, seeing all the tents and the graffiti and the smog and stuff. I'm like, wow, bro, it's gonna be a ghost town pretty soon.
Dude, that place is, yeah, dude. It's a first time seeing that. It's a pretty big shock, I think.
Yeah,
It's a pretty big culture shock. But I mean, LA's cool, but man, I can only handle LA in small moderations. That's
so
about
what
it.
is it about San Diego besides it being home?
It has literally everything. I grew up surfing. I grew up snowboarding. I grew up riding motocross. I played hockey for 18 years.
Wow.
Every single thing. We have this thing called the California Challenge where you do skateboarding, surfing, and snowboarding all on the same day. So you wake up in the morning, do a dawn surf, then you surf till like 8 a.m., drive up to Big Bear 2 hours away, snowboard on the mountain, and then hit the skate park around like sunset. And you could do all three things in the same day. Name me another place in the world where you can do that. Where the surfers and shit.
Yeah. What is it called again?
The California Challenge.
The California Challenge.
Yeah, dog.
Wow.
I don't know. Everything here is just, it just has everything. It's just, it's warm all year round. I don't know what seasons are, and I don't care to know what other seasons are.
Yeah.
We have the nice weather year round. It's never too hot. It's never too cold. It's beautiful oceans. You can, I'm a big scuba diver. Diving isn't the best here, but you can do it. There's great golf here. There's great bars here. There's great beer here.
I'm with it, bro. I'm gonna go explore a little
Weed's
bit.
legal now. Like, I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
what more you want. It has it all, dog.
Are you a smoker?
A little bit here and then. I mean, I've dabbled every now and then, but dude, I'm one of those friends that like can really freak the fuck out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's bad. Like,
Oh.
I mean, I've maybe smoked like maybe 30 times in my life, but
And it's still?
oh, bro, yeah. I mean, just I have stories, but it's just bad. I don't enjoy it like the rest of the world. I'm like that small percentage that's just like when I smoke, like my body's anxious. I'm like, I like feel like I can't control my body, and like I'm like, oh shit, the cops are at the door, and I'm like, oh, my mind can't think straight. Is my mind never gonna go back to normal? My career's over. I can't vlog anymore, and I just panic.
This is weed, guys, not heroin.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm just a pussy. Like, that needs to be set. Like, I'm just a big pussy.
It's all good, dude. It's
So.
it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I want it to be for me, but it's just not.
But are you a drinker?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, when I go to party, I'm there to party, but I'm not like, oh, I'm having a cup of whiskey every night. I mean, I might have like a beer at dinner every now and then.
Gotcha.
And then like when it's my birthday or the boys are in town, like it's a full send type of night.
Let's get fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna drink. It's that type of deal.
I love it, dude.
But I'm not like a casual like drinker. I don't enjoy it like that.
Yeah, I'm creeping up on 10 years without drinking next month.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's
That's an accomplishment. Big
Yeah,
one.
definitely, man. but I smoke like every night. So
Okay.
you got to have some vice.
Hey, I have tons of friends who smoke all the time. And again, I have nothing against smoking at all. I think it's great.
Yeah.
So
you grew up playing a bunch of sports.
Yeah.
Was that your choice or?
No, it was my choice. Yeah, my grandpa played for the Montreal Canadiens. And then, so hockey was like embedded in my family. So I started playing here when I was like 4 years old. San Diego is actually huge for hockey, and everyone thinks, oh, it's San Diego. There's no ice rinks there, but there's tons of them. So I started playing when I was super young, and then played competitive top league like my whole entire life. Did Junior Olympics in Alaska when we were 14, 15. Used to travel on the road, do like hockey from like the bus, or hockey from school from the bus, like that type of shit. And then, went up into juniors, going towards playing NCAA and doing like, just like, like encroaching towards like AHL and, for people who don't know hockey, it's kind of like going right over their head. But going towards pro, I have tons of my friends who I grew up playing with that are my like super, super, super close friends are all in the NHL. And at the end of it, I was a lot smaller than everyone else. I couldn't put on weight like everyone else. I was really fast. I was extremely fast, which was like the only really thing, like the real asset I had going for me towards going pro. But once I was in 18, 19, I was playing juniors, looking to make the next step up. But like then it's like the next stepping stone before you hit the NHL. I decided to do school, and the thought of doing school and trying to balance that at the same time that wasn't in the same college was tough. And I just ultimately at that point in my life too, I decided I was trying to move out, and I just took a step back and focused on school, and I went into nursing, and I'm passionate about that for a whole other set of reasons and stuff. But hockey was hockey was my life.
Yeah.
That's all it ever was. And yeah, it's weird. It feels like a different life now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I don't think people really realize through the videos. They think I just kind of like played, and I was like, no, I was dedicated on going pro. Like that was it.
How many lives do you feel like you've already lived, as far as like different chapters?
Dude, I feel like I'm on my. I honestly feel like I'm in my. That's a really interesting question, actually. No one's ever asked me. I feel like I'm on like my third life right now, like from when I was a kid, from when I can remember to about 18. That was like my hockey life, where it was like eat, sleep, hockey, repeat. That's all it was. And then when I stopped, it was all school, and I was doing school like 60 hours a week. Didn't have a life outside of college when I was in the nursing program, and then I dropped out, and then I started this life. So like it's weird. I feel like I have lived 3 different lives.
Now with the hockey aspect of it, do you feel like you reached some of the pinnacles that you wanted to get, or do you still feel like there's something that you didn't reach?
I mean, I still play today. Mickey has actually been playing hockey since he was, when I was started, I was like 4 or 5. So we actually play together in men's league weekly. So I still get on the ice and whatnot.
Cool.
But I always wonder if I would have stuck with it, what would happen now. But at the same time, I'm very thankful for what I have. So like it doesn't keep me up at night, because I'm like, man, this life is something I've always dreamed of too.
Yeah.
It's either do this or the NHL type of deal. So I don't really think about it too much, but I do miss it dramatically.
Well, it had to come to a point where you felt at least fulfilled, where then you just started thinking maybe it's time to try something new out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when around that like 18, 19, it became like, it wasn't like, oh, you're doing this as like a kid, as like a full-time hobby life type thing. Like, although like I was on the ice 5 days a week, like traveling 2 days every week for games, whatever, like that was my life. But when it turned 18, 19, you started dabbling with, like, there was no age limit in the league anymore. And it was like, no, like this is some people's like jobs. And it became more of like, no, this is your job now. And it was like, you're on the road 5 days out of the week type of thing. And it got to a point where I don't know. It was like there's no really school and this. It's like you do this and you don't do school, or like you go to school and you don't play type of thing.
Yeah.
Or you go to a college D1 NCAA league, and that's a whole different. There's a couple different routes per se to get to the NHL, but the route that was in my forefront was no school, just hockey, and that's all you do.
Was that your ultimate goal? Is you wanted to be
NHL? Yeah. So once I got there and I like played that first season of like, I was doing both, which like wasn't really too common. My school was just like suffering dramatically, and I don't know. I don't know if it was that, because at that point I was on year like 16 or 17 of playing.
Golly.
And I was like, fuck. Am I ready to take a step? I don't know. And eventually I took a step back and I was like, school's more important. So I thought.
So you being in hockey for most of your childhood, do you ever look back and think about what you did miss? Like,
no way. I mean, I loved it. Like, I truly loved it. Like, it was my greatest memories in life are with that.
Dope.
Like, everything is like all those kids, because we were all in the same age bracket. So like, you know, a couple handfuls of everyone. We grew up playing on every next league bracket with each other, all in San Diego.
Okay.
San Diego was like one of the top, you know, cities in the nation that always went to nationals, that always had kids from the Southern California area that went and played on Junior Olympics, that always got pulled up to go play in like, you know, different leagues and shit. So it was always such high caliber, and it was the family. Like, I grew up with them.
Got you.
Now there's handfuls in the NHL, and it's fucking rad.
Do you ever go watch them?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, every off season, everyone comes back home to their families, and it's cool sitting in the locker room with them, and like we'll go and we'll do like like we're doing like an alumni night, or like everyone from like this like team bracket that we played with will come back in, and everyone's wearing, rather than wearing like our old uniforms with the goals we had, they're wearing like their NHL prospect like uniforms, and it's like, what the fuck, and just getting out there to play with them and shit. Yeah, so I mean, I still get to see them when we get to chop it up, and you know.
That's very cool, man.
Yeah.
So at this young age, when did you realize that you had like that passion inside you and that drive and that commitment to keep pushing forward and, you know, accomplishing the
goals?
Hockey
or
for hockey?
I mean, I just loved it. It's all I knew. So like I never like questioned it. When I was like 11, 12, I was like, yep, I'm going pro. Like, I'm playing this young. I was like always one of the top dudes on the team. Our team was always #1 in every league. I was like, we're playing at the highest level we could possibly be playing at. And I was like, there's really no other, like, there's no option. Like, I'm going. Like, I'm not going to be there. And I really was like, the amount of effort I put into like everything I do now was the same effort I was putting in then. I always think like it was I learned like the ethic into how to like put more work in than everyone else around you by like staying after practice, doing more leg work, or staying after practice, or like doing extra lessons on top of like normal practice with team. I like learned that was like instilled in me like at a really young age. I feel like a lot of that like attributed like later in life. So I always like, it was never like it was like a click. It was like I just grew up thinking I was going to go to the NHL.
That's cool, man.
So
and
that's all I ever knew.
That's a great parallel for people listening that used to play sports. You know?
I dedicate all my success on YouTube today from the lessons that I learned from sportsmanship and competitiveness when I was younger, hands down.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people listening too, that they see where you're at and they see like, yo, that's a lifestyle I would want to live, but I can't do it, you know. But they played, you know, football all the way from when they were a child all the way to high school, and it's like, look, dude, you have it already in you. You just need to focus that energy towards something that you want to build and go forward.
Yeah, I think it's just about developing the parallel that like, you playing in your sport and becoming the best you can is the same thing in life. Life is your sport. Like, you just have to work harder and you'll be the best on the team. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same shit. So as long as you can like understand that, and like if you ever had that connection as you were younger, you still have it today. You just gotta kind of tap into a different mindset.
Yeah. All right, everybody, I hope you're enjoying the episode. We got to take a quick break for our sponsor, Heel Toe Auto. An important part in buying Honda parts online is making sure that you can trust the company that you're dealing with to get you the right parts reliably. You spend a lot of money and you spend a lot of time researching your build. The last thing that you want to do is send cash to a website where you may never see it again, or worse yet, never see the parts. With Heel Toe Automotive, an 18-year history and track record is part of the deal. Heel Toe brings you deep industry connections, professional part recommendations, alternative ideas when your parts aren't available, and they'll even contact you when something out of the ordinary looks on your order before it even ships. Heel-Toe's unique checkout allows you to select a deadline to receive your parts to make sure that you get them in time for your project plans. So you don't have to call Heel-Toe and say, hey man, I got to get this motor done this weekend. It's Thursday. Can you get me these parts? I need it now. I ordered it already, and you're holding up the bill. And like, bro, you need to let us know first when you need these parts. And that's really unique that Heel-Toe offers that, and it helps out a lot. You can buy parts anywhere online, but Heel-Toe knows what truly matters to an enthusiast: professionalism, swiftness, and accuracy. Heel-Toe is in your corner. Guys, please make sure you check out HeelToeAuto.com, or you can call or text them at 949-295-1668. Please just shoot them a text right now and tell them thank you for supporting the Downtime with Downstar podcast. 949-295-1668. Now back to the show. Definitely. So let's fast forward a little bit to the part where you were exiting hockey and then start to enter nursing field. Yeah. So tell me about that time in your life. And
so growing up, my mom has had like crazy health issues growing up. So from an early on age, I was caretaking for my mom at like, I think it was 13. She had like one of her like largest like accidents. My mom has heart disease, and she's had 2 strokes, heart attack, and then she had a cardiac arrest when we were 12. She was in a coma for 3 months, and like we were supposed to lose her, X, Y, and Z. So like growing up, like I lived in and out of the hospital with my mom. Like I just the hospital was like a second home because we spent so much time there with her. So around 12, 13, she had her last like accident, and from her cardiac arrest when I was like 12 or 13, from that point forward, she never like fully recovered. She became like permanently disabled, mentally handicapped, what they say. And she has like all of the normal functions a human does, but mainly short-term memory loss and like just a couple deficits as like brainly like activities. Like she can act, she can function on a full level, but just can't do everything a normal person can, and it's really hard to describe it in words. But pretty much she need caretaking. Like she can be at home alone, for most of the day, but to remind her, hey, we need to eat, you need to take these pills, we need to like take care of this, we need to go to help up the stairs, all that type of stuff. So I grew up like always caretaking for her. Because of that, I was always really passionate about like medicine because I spent so much time in the hospital. So when it got to be like that pivotal point where I was like, I knew if it wasn't at this point, it was like as I started to grow older and I kind of got towards college, I was like, hey, I want to be in the medical field when I grow older if I don't do the NHL. Like, let's lay out our options here. What's plan B? So plan B was like, oh, I'm going to go into some sort of like cardio field in the medical industry. So I made that leap into nursing and wanted to be, and my ultimate goal was I wanted to be a PA or open my own practice. That was kind of like where I was headed. So yeah, took the steps to our local, like Cal State San Marcos has a great nursing program. It's one of the best in California, and dedicated from that point, like the next like 3 years of my life towards that. And just like it was in hockey, I gave it my like 100, and I was not a good student in high school. Like I maybe had like a 3.1. Like it wasn't, and I come from a high school where it's like, again, like I'm very lucky with the area that I grew up in, but it's like one of the top high schools in California. Like it was almost degrading. Not like if you weren't like a all AP student, like the school didn't give a shit about you like that. So like I always had this weird like vendetta against the schooling system, but that comes a little bit later in the story. So like I ended up going to nursing and gave it my all. Was a straight A student in college, like dedicated my life to it. Like there was no bullshit. Like my dad was paying for my college. I wasn't fucking around. And yeah, started doing the schooling. It was my thing. And then I think after my freshman year of college, I had a girlfriend at the time of 5 years who I thought was like my everything. I thought I was getting married to her. I thought like my life at this point was like, I see my next 25 years. Like it's laid out and that's what's happening. And then she ends up breaking up with me in freshman year. Like my life crumbles like right at the start of summer. I was never like a heavy dude. I've always been pretty skinny, but when we broke up, I lost like 20 pounds, which makes me like a scarecrow at this point. Super unhealthy. Saw what it was to be depressed and just not get up, not do anything, do absolutely nothing in life. To eventually like 4 months after the breakup, my friends were like, dude, you got issues. Like, you need to get help. Like, this is getting to a point of where, like, this is really not good. And then, you know, I was like 19 or 20, and then started to, like, do what looked into, like, self-help. I think it was the first time I watched the movie The Secret, and just learned about that way of living, that type of lifestyle. Helped use that to find a few different and really influential people, like Les Brown, Zig, a few different people that really just, like, brought me out of my depression, that showed me, like, the power of the mind. Taking certain things from law of attraction, X, Y, and Z, and turned my life around. And that's what started the cars. Is I was trying hobbies. I had this thing where I was like, I'm gonna try a new hobby every single day, no matter what it is. I'm gonna find something that sticks. Like I challenged myself every day to find something new to try, whether it was like painting or like hiking or, like, you know, shit like that.
Got you.
And then eventually it's weird how it all ties back. When I was in school, when I was younger and we were in hockey, like I said, we used to do school from, like, on the road. So one of the things we would do for fun, because we weren't, like, when we were, like, out on tournaments and out on, like, big trips, we weren't allowed to go, like, run around and fuck around because we couldn't get hurt before the game. So we, like, were just stuck in these hotel rooms, or, like, we would, like, rent out the hotel convention room, and we would just fuck around in there. And something we used to do for fun was I had my little laptop iMac, and I used to make little skits on iMovie with all my teammates. So I've always been fucking around with, like, editing, and, like, I was all savvy with, like, all the hotkeys, and, like, I could edit videos really well because I was the one who edited all the team's videos for fun. So and I've always been in the car world, like exotics, living in San Diego, Symbolic Motors is on the street. Like, I've always, like, had my, like, passion with cars, and eventually I was like, oh, well, what if I started, like, you know, filming cars? Like, I was watching a few people on YouTube that, like, did car shit. So once we broke up, I needed to find something new, and eventually, like, one of my things was, like, film a car video like you see on YouTube. And that's what started it. Was that, like, I was trying to get myself out of it, and that was the hobby that I found.
So let's get a timeline. What year was that?
2014,
maybe?
I could tell you.
And you were about 20 when you started?
Yeah, 19.
19.
Like, just turned 19. So maybe, like, 18.
Okay.
Like, freshman year of college. So, yeah, would have been, like, 18 and a half.
Got you. Okay. So you were with this girl
5 years.
Once you were still a child.
Oh, we started dating when we were 13, 14. 13,
oh my
13.
God.
Yeah, freshman year of high school. Like 2 weeks in.
Now, when she ended up breaking up with you, did she give you a reasoning, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was 2014 is when I started.
Okay.
My first video I posted, well, yeah, around 2014.
What's the month?
This says March, but
okay.
I posted a few videos before that.
Gotcha.
So, like, April.
Okay, so about 2014. All right. So just a generic answer. It's not working out. It's not you. It's me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
For lack of better terms, yeah. So it ended, and yeah, life-shattering moment.
What did it feel like? You know, I like to ask these kind of questions because I know that you have a lot of younger following, and I remember my first breakup. It's fucking rough, dude.
The amount of DMs I get about shit like this. I mean, yeah, I think your first real love relationship breakup is one of the hardest things in your whole entire life, for sure. It felt like completely blindsided, betrayal, fuck, man, a whole side of emotions I never thought I even had.
Did you feel unworthy?
Yeah, you know, yeah. And I don't want to get too deep into the details of
definitely
what happened, but yeah, just felt like a piece of shit, like just worthless. Yeah. So it was just a really dark, self-inflicting pain mindset. It was just unhealthy like unhealthy thought practice, I guess. Yeah.
And kind of the rough thing about it is there's no way around it. You got to go through that.
You have to go through it. Like, that's that moment in time where I look back, you know, years later, that was the most beautiful time of my life. I had felt emotions I never knew existed. I'm a macho guy, sports guy. Like, I was forced to feel things I tried suppressing. And And it took me a good year to really like move past it,
Mm-hmm.
like fully. And I journaled every day about it. I still go back to my parents' house. I open up the fucking journal and I read the shit I was writing.
Oh my God.
And it's like, wow, real deep shit. Like really needed help. You know, because I was desperate of like I was on like forums on like I'm single, broken up, heartbroken forums. Like I had an account where I would talk about shit with people I didn't even know about, of like,
Yeah.
people would post their stories on the breakup. I remember posting my story and asking thoughts like, am I going to get back with her? Like when people are like, no, it was worse for me. Like, trust me, I was as worse as it gets. Like I was that fucked up.
Yeah.
I was on forums online, and this is like, you know, this is like 2014, 2013, where like, you know, the world isn't as like, it was different back then. Not that it was not that there wasn't help, but like the internet wasn't what it was today, where it's like, if you need help, you can post on your story, like, really need help right now, someone reach out to me type of shit. Like, I don't know. It wasn't as open as it was today. So like, yeah, I was really fucked up.
Did you have like any family members, maybe your dad or something, try to talk to you about it?
My sister was probably my biggest crutch.
Gotcha.
She, like, didn't talk to my parents about it too much at all. But my sister was probably my biggest crutch during that time in life. Yeah.
Yeah. When I lived in northern Nevada for probably about 3 years, moved out of here about 2004 to 2007. And over there I met a girl, started dating her, and she ended up cheating on me. And it's just, this is the worst fucking feeling ever, dude. You feel so betrayed, and you feel like everything that you thought just disappeared.
It's life shattering. That's the only type of real, and that word doesn't mean much to people who haven't experienced it. For people who have experienced it, like, that word just lightly describes the emotions that you go through.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
But like you said, man, I would go through it again, that same feeling again, just to be able to get to the place that I'm at now.
Oh, for sure. Like, going through it, you're like, this is the worst thing ever. It's never going to change. This is my only girl ever. But, like, looking back on it, dude, it taught me so much. I learned more about I was so young. I didn't even know who I was. Like, It just really taught me shit that, like, set me up for my future. That I'm so happy I went through it. I would never change that.
Hell yeah. So you decided to pick up a camera. Did you have a car at this time?
Yeah, I did. I had a 328i, old BMW. So I started like just looking up on forums, like how to change an intake and just plasti dip wheels, you know, fucking VHT nightshade on your taillights. Just like, you know, stupid shit that you just want to do something. So you try to get your hands dirty. Yeah, I started making videos like that, and then, you know, eventually, and I would post all my DIY videos like on forums to try to get other people to view it, because no one was watching my shit. But I'd post on like Facebook forums, like car forums, like just putting it in places where people would see it and would click it, and eventually, you know, would get a few, you know, couple thousand views here or there. And that's why like a lot of my core following is BRZ following, because it was all on BRZ forums and shit. I had the BMW for like 3 videos.
Gotcha.
And I sold like very quickly, and then got the manual car, and you know, started playing with that. But eventually it started to pick up views, and I'm still in college. So at this point I was like doing about 50, 60 hours of studying a week during school, and then and I started uploading 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But every second that I wasn't doing schoolwork, I was filming car shit. And like, I didn't party, I didn't drink, I didn't have any friends in college. I didn't have any friends. I was a loner. I other than like the person sat next to me in class, like I've never partied in college. Never was. So like, that was like what I really enjoyed, beyond school. So I just made it work. And I had like my schedule, I would film, and I was like, I'd get really ahead at a few points. I'd be like 3 weeks ahead in content, because I like would, you know, just stack, film as much content as I could in the days that I could, and really found my rhythm very quickly.
Got you.
And I was posting 3 days a week, every day at 2:30, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I mean, fast forward, you know, after just like figuring out my shit, what worked, I I eventually started making more money on YouTube a month than I would when I graduated and I was a nurse.
Yeah.
Making a full-time salary. So when I was in college, I was like wheeling and dealing this like side hustle. And I think like an average salary for a nurse in California is like 90 to 100 grand, like starting. So I was making like 8 to 10 grand a month on YouTube. And then once I got, and that was like before sponsorships and like advertisements and like, you know, corporate sponsors or even a thing. Like this is just solely YouTube revenue.
And how many subs do you think you were at this time?
I have it all. I had pictures of it in my phone. I could dig up. Like I documented every week. Like I was very analytical. Every week I knew how many subs I grew each week, and then I also documented my overall view count in videos. So like, if I had to guess, maybe like a little over 100,000, 200,000, something like that.
Got you. Okay, so you're already in the big times.
I guess.
I mean, in the Honda community, when you got like 2 to 3K, 300K, you're like top of the line, man. Yeah, so
yeah, I'm gonna pull up a video here for reference because I used to vlog in college sometimes when I was like, I used to like take my camera in the classroom. And I bet you I could probably find a video of it.
So while you look for that, when you started recording videos, this was your plan all along? I want to make it as a YouTuber?
No. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, check this out. You know, people listening to, you know, no one can actually see, but this is...
So what is the name of this video?
This is called Day in the Life 3. This video was posted 5 years ago, January 30th, 2015. And look, this is me in the parking lot going into class. You were all late as hell. I saw all those Snapchats. So like this, us in school, like
wow.
And I was just, you know, making little. This is when like vlogging started happening. I started making day in the life videos while in school, and I would just, you know, document whatever.
Gotcha.
I didn't have money, so like I was making content out of anything. Yeah, and eventually it's. And I think on that video I had like 100,000 subs.
Got you.
Something
So
like that.
at this time, well, let's take it back to like the beginning when you were attracted to the platform of YouTube.
Yeah.
Who were some of the YouTubers
The original
or channels?
people that was Subaru WRX fan, That Dude in Blue, Evan Shanks, Dr. M3. That was roughly about it in the automotive community. But I was watching a little bit of automotive community, but I was watching way more like mainstream YouTube for people who are like true OG YouTube viewers. BF vs GF, like Jesse and Gina, old school YouTubers. This was back when like this is like Miranda Sings before she like really blew up, like Colleen, that type of stuff. Jenna and Julian, Jenna Marbles' boyfriend Julian. That was like watching before Jenna even was dating Julian. Like I was watching these like full-time vloggers. I was watching Casey Neistat before he was Casey Neistat. You know, like that type of OG daily vlogger content. I was high, like Dose of Fusi. I was like a very high consumer of day in the life content, and then that's what inspired my day in the life content. And then yeah, that's what kind of pushed me to that.
Gotcha.
Because you're able to make videos without spending money.
Yeah.
So that was like the biggest thing for me. And I enjoyed watching that more than anything else.
What was the feeling like when you started getting feedback in the comments?
Horrible.
Really?
I mean, I just got shit on. Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. Back then it was weird. It wasn't cool. It was you didn't have, you know, people in elementary school being like, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up. Like that wasn't a thing. Like especially in the automotive community, I was the first person to do like turn the camera around and film me and my life.
Yeah.
Like the cars were there, but the channel was about me, and every other channel was about strictly the cars. And that was the biggest thing that set me apart back then, and what boosted me above everyone way back then, is I was the only one who I was the first person to start filming my life, and the cars were like, you know,
part of it,
just salt and pepper on top.
Got you.
It was more about me, my life, my friends, my story, my realness.
Yeah.
I mean, way back then I was still struggling with the breakup, so I talked a lot about like self-help and really connected with people on that level. But yeah, a lot of the comments were like cringy, blah 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 blah, like I don't know, like stop posting your stupid content. I don't know, just really mean shit. Really, really mean shit. Yeah.
Wow, man.
But like I had my core like people who watch my videos,
Yeah.
but like, you know, on like every other like subreddit or like forum page or on Instagram, everyone just fucking talks shit on you for doing what you want and like.
Yeah. All right, boys, we got to take another break for our sponsor, Action Clutch. One of the most critical parts to any build is the clutch. Without a proper clutch, you won't be able to get that power to the wheels. No one wants to spend hundreds of dollars on a clutch that won't hold their power for more than a few races or spirited drives. That's why it's important to go with a kit that you can count on, and that's why a lot of people choose Action Clutch over the competition. Action Clutch is made here in the USA with parts sourced locally in Los Angeles. Action Clutch has kits from OEM replacements all the way up to 1200 horsepower and can be found everywhere from street cars, drag cars, and even Formula Drift vehicles. Not only are they made in the USA, but Action Clutch has made a strong focus this year to give back a percentage of sales to their community during these hard times, provided impacting families with groceries and other necessities. Big shout out to Action Clutch. That's a huge one, man. Thank you guys for helping out your community. If you guys need anything from them, you contact them with whatever you need and you'll get the family treatment. Check them out at actionclutch.com or on Instagram at actionclutch. You can always shoot them a DM or you can give them a call at 323-269-6051. And if you're about 55 and you don't deal with any of that malarkey, you can also email them at sales@actionclutch.com. If you need help choosing a kit, they can get you all taken care of, and I could get you taken care of as well. If you need 15% off, if you want to save a little change, use code DTWD upon checkout to get 15% off. Now back to the show. So let's talk about getting shit on, bro. That's a huge part of the field that you're in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it just gets more and more as bigger that you get.
The bigger you get, the more people want to see you fall.
Yeah.
They like thrive on it.
So one of the first times that I heard about you
This will be interesting.
was the BRZ, the fake kit. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that time.
Yeah.
And I watched your video back then. At that point, I was already a business owner, and you know our parts have been knocked off so many times.
Yeah.
You know, so I already had a different way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I understood the way that you looked at it as well, and I could agree on both sides. So let's kind of take it back to that time.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your mindset like, and what is it like now?
Yeah. Okay. So for those who don't know, I had a BRZ, and I got one of my dreams growing up was always to have a Rocket Bunny BRZ. So there came a time where, and I'm still fairly new, and one of the biggest things for my channel was like I almost started every install video with, I don't know what I'm doing, but you're gonna sit here and watch us figure it out type of deal. I was very open about I don't know anything. Like from the start of my channel, you saw me learn what a 3/8 versus a 1/2 inch socket was. Like I didn't know that. Like I literally knew nothing, and I was very transparent about that from the start. So eventually I get this Rocket Bunny kit, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, like I got a good deal on it. Like I'm super stoked. I don't remember how much I paid for it, even if it was free. I don't remember, but I got the kit. It was right when the V3 one came out, and then I make the video and like show it like taped on the car, and I started to get fucking ripped on. It went viral like instantly, millions of views. Like I was getting blown up everywhere, getting like death threats, all this type of shit.
Really?
Like, other people in the BRZ community that like think they're top shit started calling me like, yo, like if I'm gonna fuck you up on the forums. Like that's like some real fucking bad shit. Like just trying to like be hard asses. Like I know the real owner who makes this kit, the owner of this brand, and like that's so fucked up of you. And keep in mind, like those people were the ones who were fucking talking more shit on me on the forums than anyone else in the world.
Really?
Put that aside. There's a lot of shit stamped. This moment in life really fucking built me to who I was today. Long story short, I never knew what I had was a rep kit. I never knew it. I thought it was real. I never understood why the people that were giving it to me were so like, well, don't call it this, but like, make it like, portray it this way. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever.
Now, were you naive at that time?
Yeah, no,
okay,
naive.
gotcha.
That's why I started this. I didn't know anything.
Gotcha.
Like, I've never wide-bodied a car before. I didn't know. I mean, they're like, oh, people think, oh, you have like 500,000 subs, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, but you don't understand. Like, yeah, but like I don't know. I'm just a literal kid. Like, I'm a literal kid. I don't really have that much money. I have some money to fuck around. I'm trying to make ends meet and make this dream possible now. So like, whatever. I didn't know I had a rep kit. The video goes out. It's a fucking rep kit, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why that's bad. Like, and you know, we had the kit on the car for a while, but I never knew that it was bad. I never really understood what was in my mind. I'm like, well, if the kit costs $8,000 and it takes them 10 weeks to ship it or 6 months to ship it to you, then that's their own fault for not knowing how to make it more streamlined. And I never understood. I didn't understand anything of like what went into the kit, why it's designed like that. I never even understood anything about JDM culture. Like, I never really knew what JDM was. So like, what's this like? You really need to understand this. The naiveness of like, oh, the new wide body kit, I can get it for this cheap from these guys. Like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, why would I not? I've always wanted this. So eventually learned like what it was. Like, I mean, I became like the most hated BRZ owner in the whole entire world. Everyone talks shit. Everyone fucking circle jerks off about, oh, he's so stupid, like so cringy, blah blah blah. But I'm like, but then why the fuck are you watching my videos, you stalker ass? Why are you on my dick? So why are you always fucking talking about me? Why are you always making Instagram posts about me and X, Y, and Z? Oh, but it's shit. Like they adored like that I was able to make a career of what I was doing, but they hated me personally, type of thing. That was always like how I had to justify it to myself. And then eventually, like, once I had money, I went back over and redid the kit. Met the real owners of Rocket Bunny, met Mira himself. You know, this is years down, made better connections, learned more shit, then took the kit off. I gave it away to someone for free that couldn't even afford anything on his car. Like, went out the middle of nowhere. And I was like, whoever finds me at these coordinates, get it, and shows up in a BRZ that's not.
I remember when
body,
you posted
like,
that.
you can have this kit.
Very cool.
And then I was either gonna destroy it, and I was like, yeah, but someone could enjoy it for free. Like, it's already here, whatever.
Yeah.
And then put the new one on the car, which I guess like earned a little respect back from other people. But it's more of me is about, let's get the real kit on the car. Let's pay let's pay for it, whatever. Let's make justice due. But I really just didn't know at the time that it was fake. And I went through the fucking ringer, to understand and learn.
So you said that this was like a pivotal moment in your career.
Yeah, because I've never been so hated. I've never been so bullied before my whole entire life for something that I really was an accident. It was a mistake. I just didn't know.
Now, how many people switched up on you at this time that you thought like, wow, I can't believe this person's saying this. I can't believe I'm seeing this this haha from this person.
It wasn't anyone that I really knew personally, but it was more of like, wow, the internet can be a really dark and mean place. You know what cancel culture is now? That was cancel culture before that term was coined.
Yeah.
And it just really showed me like, this is a dangerous place.
Yeah, definitely, man. This is kind of around the time that you and I started fucking with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember somebody using my Downstar TJ Hunt as a thumbnail to do like a rebuttal video.
People
on
make
you.
Videos about,
and I'm just like, bro, why would you even put me in this? Like, I just hooked up with this kid and we're fucking working together, and this is like such a bad look. And from the thumbnail, it's like, I agree with, like, you're saying the way that we do things versus the way TJ does things is different. And it's like, why would you even put those two and two? And that shit still bothered me to this day. And that guy ended up being a fucking lame, spreading more rumors, but whatever. But how do you feel about that? People using your problems.
Get fucking used to it. As I said earlier in this podcast, the higher you are, the more people want to see you fall, type of thing. They fucking thrive on it. So, dude, I mean, can't tell you how many times my name's been used against me, or they manipulate information, or don't show the whole side of the story, show the part that makes their case look the best, and they're just doing it for the fucking views, and they're like, I don't give a fuck. But they don't understand is they're creating a circle jerk platform where everyone on that video now has a new perception of that person that isn't true.
Yeah.
And all the comments are the most hurtful thing for that individual. And they don't understand how mentally abusive that is on people. Where every comment with a million thumbs up on every, and it's just a shit show. It's fucked up. It hurts very much. And it's very tough to absorb that, understand it, and like put that aside and continue what you want to do.
Yeah, dude. I've been through the same thing, you know, and the great thing is that I have my wife with me that I can talk to her about things, because if I couldn't, dude, I would probably take it to a different level, a level that it shouldn't be taking it to. You know, I shouldn't. The way that I look at it now is, if I react to what somebody says, I have no control over myself.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world can control me.
Yeah.
Besides me.
Yeah.
The customers control me. My workers control me. My business, everything controls me. Now, if you say something on my page, yo, fuck Downstar, that shit's whack, and I respond to you, now you're controlling me. Who the hell controls me? There has to be that time where you step back and you say, you take the power away from them, but it's fucking hard.
It's so hard. Yeah, I mean, it's really important to have a good, you know, base behind you, which I think is everything. But it's a process of learning how to absorb that type of shit and not let it manipulate you, and not respond back, be like, fuck you, you know, just rip them. Because then it just, people know it bugs you now, they're going to start fucking with, you know, it creates a whole different issue. But it's hard, but that moment shaped me, because it exposed me to how toxic this environment not can be, but is
and will be.
Yeah. In today's day and age, you know, there's a little bit less of like, people are a little bit more socially aware of like mental illness and stuff. So I think it's still bad today, but it's a little bit different. It was horrible, dude. It was a very, very rough moment. A big learning. Yeah. Another big learning point. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm not trying to hurt anyone, and I'm just doing me. And then all those dudes who like talk shit on you in the forums, who are like the biggest builds and shit, then they come rip on me, and they're like talking all this shit. I'm like, you're telling me I'm a worthless piece of shit, and like I'm an idiot. Why the fuck do you care what I'm doing now? But now you're coming to me, rip me because I have this platform, and like it's just situational on how they want it. Like first they tell me I'm worthless piece of shit, and like whatever I do is like butt fuck. And now when I do, you know, one thing that like affects their friends or whatever, now I have all this worth, and like fuck you, and like blah 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 blah. And it's just like, it was a very rough moment.
Yeah, definitely, man. But a lot of that stuff says way more about those people than it does about you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, and if you're the kind of person to be able to recognize that stuff, those people make themselves look extremely terrible.
These are grown-ass men arguing with a 19-year-old shit. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just sorry, dude. I'm learning. I'm trying to do the best, and making everyone happy is impossible. So
yeah, you know, I've even heard it on my end. You know, it always seems like it comes to you as you being the one that is, like YouTubers, like TJ Hunt, like that kind of stuff, you know, like
YouTubers. Yeah, that's a very, that word has a big negative connotation for a lot of people.
Yeah. What would you like it to be called, or what would you like the idea of a YouTuber to be? Like, I see it as a content creator,
I guess, but it's also weird because the words also at some point, you know, I've heard it in like the most professional, biggest settings in the world at SEMA, where SEMA is the biggest platform in the whole entire world, with the biggest executives, all the companies ever. I've walked by, I've overheard conversations of people fucking laughing at, I'm an Instagram page, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I've also heard it be clowned on because people get the self-entitledness, or one YouTuber comes up with like 5,000 subs, and it's like, I want your $20,000 kit for free, and I'll make a video on it and take it to so it gets clowned on because anyone can do it, type of thing now. So like, I don't really like I mean, I don't like the word influencer, I don't like the word YouTuber. I don't really try to box myself in as anything. I don't really know.
Just TJ?
Just me. Yeah.
Is that your real name?
No.
Can you tell your first name? Is it out there, or it's
it's
secret?
It's out there. Thomas, my first name.
Tom?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Does anybody call you that?
Maybe Sabrina when she wants to be funny,
or when she's mad.
Yeah, but no one does. No.
Got it. I got a buddy named TJ, but his name is Talvin. Shout out to Talvin.
Yeah, nah.
So yeah, that brings me to my next point. Like I was saying, when you and I got connected together, I always tell this story, but I wanted to tell it to you. You know, I got a DM one time, and this guy's like, "Yo, bro, congratulations for getting on TJ Hunt." And I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" You know, and he sent me the link. All right, cool. So I clicked the link, and first thing off, 600K subs. I'm like, oh shit, who is this guy? So I watched the whole entire video, and it was pretty much just an install video, like how to of our fender flare hardware. And I was like, dude, why did this dude do this? Like this is so fucking crazy for him, because I was already aware of YouTube space, you know, of the power that YouTubers have and things like that. And I seen it, I was like, oh my God, dude. And I was thinking, like, you know what, maybe I'll DM him or something like that. But, you know, DMs just get lost. I kind of did something that was not that professional, but I went on our database, found your name, and then I called you.
I think I remember this.
And I called you, and I said, hey, what's up, bro? My name's Frank. I'm the owner of Downstar. And, oh, what's up? I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate what you did for us.
Yeah.
And anything you need from here on in the future, just hit me up. This is my number. I got you from there. And, dude, it's been awesome ever since, man. I wanted to thank you for that, because ever since then, that product, it did what I knew that it was going to do and what it needed to do.
Yeah.
There was a gap in the market. We had the product for it, but I just didn't have the eyes at that time. And you just doing the video for us, it just helped out so much.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, man.
Of course. Yeah, I remember that phone call. It's always really cool, too. And I know, because something we've been chasing, I mean, I've always been chasing, is getting to work with brands and stuff. And in the first, you know, beginning years, it was always really tough and stuff. And you know, as I like started to make new relationships and stuff throughout, you know, the career of doing this, always getting to know the owners and working with the brands and shit at one point, and like being like, yo, like, we'll help you out with the products, tell us what you need type of deal, was always like something I always like dreamed of. So remember when you called me, I was like, oh, I that's fucking really cool that like you stepped forward and said something, because a lot of, not that I was ever expecting, if I talk about a brand, I'm like, oh, these guys better see it. It was never like that.
Yeah.
But with the fact that, you know, you and a few brands would do that, and it always like meant the world, because I'm like, oh, like no one's really ever said thank you before. Like I never really thought about it like that, but it was just eye opening, and was like a really cool like breath of fresh air.
All right, guys, we got to take a break for our sponsor, Manscaped. Autumn is in the air, and Manscaped is here to ensure that you don't carve your pumpkins when you're grooming. And by pumpkins, we actually mean your boys downstairs. And by your boys downstairs, not Downstar. Downstairs, they mean your nuts, bro. They want you to shave your nuts. And if you're in the UK, Canada, and Australia, good luck, boys. Manscaped is shipping out that way. You could get the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. That thing is legit. 7,000 RPM, 90-minute battery life, has a a LED on it, but that thing is super bright if you want to shave in the closet or somewhere dark when your wife's asleep or whatever you want to do. I'm not your parent, man. And if you want to get that new weed whacker with the skin safe technology to chop down some of those nose hairs, bro, you need to grab one of those, and might as well just grab the whole crop care kit. It's coming with the crop cleanser body wash, crop mop ball wipes, the foot duster, and dude, it comes with all this stuff, and you'll be manscaped out. You'll be looking good, you'll be smelling good, and you'll be looking good. So you'll be looking good twice, smelling good once. Let's throw another smelling in there. So you'll be smelling good twice, looking good twice. You're not gonna have any hair. You're gonna look like a brand new baby. You're gonna smell great like a baby does. And if you use this code DTWD, you're gonna save some money, man. 20% off plus free shipping. So don't do this for me, don't do this for you, do this for your girlfriend that you're just trying to feed her those pumpkins to, and then you get mad when she doesn't want to. Look, bro, smells like shit. Use some Manscaped. Get some Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use the code. Save some money. And the money that you saved, go take her out, bro. You know, be a new man. Be the man that you want to be. and stop being the man that you are. Nah, you're probably a good guy because you're listening to the podcast. So you're a great guy. Never mind. Big shout out to you. I love you. Back to the show, guys. Yeah. And that definitely made me look at you in a different way. Like, I want to see what this guy's going to do. And that was at 600K, dude.
Yeah.
At 1.8 right now, dude. What a journey, man.
Yeah, fuck.
So it seems like we've been diving into a little negative stuff. Let's get a little happy, man. Sabrina, bro.
Yeah.
Tell me about when you met Sabrina.
I met her. We went to high school together, but never really knew each other in high school. But yeah, I met her at like one of my friends' house. Like, this is like during college, at like it was like a kind of like a kickback or whatever. And I saw her, like, introduced myself, whatever, but never really like talked to her then. And I think eventually I slid in her DMs or something like a couple of weeks after, and eventually got her to like go out with me, which took like a lot of persuasion. And yeah, that was kind of like we got clicked really, really well. And we've been dating ever since. We're dating for 4 years now.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's been a journey.
And she helps you out here at the shop?
She's a rock star. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do anything without her. We started like working together like I think like 2 years ago full time, and since then it's been a real like pivotal point in like business because it's allowed, finding like a quote unquote manager is really hard in this industry, especially when there's so much like money involved and trusting people and just that whole thing. So she's really like adopted that, and it just helps me like organize my life and organize everything. And she kills it. She's great. She's a very organized person, so it works very well.
Very cool, man. I love it, man. I love to see your guys' relationship.
Yeah.
Because I feel that that's what a lot of people don't value nowadays is relationships.
I mean, dude, it's tough. I mean, there's even times too where like I'm like, fuck, I need to take a step back and like understand the relationship we shared and like really value it. Like I get lost in it too, because we're just so caught up in remembering to appreciate relationship and just the one-on-one and the person is so important. But a lot of times it gets lost with everyone, which is super normal.
Yeah.
We try to like focus a lot on communication, so she makes me talk through my shit a lot, which I hate, but it's helpful.
Hey, communicating is one of the best skills that you could ever have, man.
Yeah, no, she tries to teach me that. I'm really bad at communicating, so she's my teacher in that regard.
That's awesome. Big shout out to Sabrina, man.
Yeah, big shout out to
wish
Sabrina.
her the best,
yeah,
for sure. Man, we've talked about so much, and we haven't even talked about cars.
We haven't talked about cars at all.
All right, so let's get to that point, right?
Okay.
Back when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I could see your room already. You had the poster. What was on it?
Oh, man. Other than like naked girls all over like the posters, which I loved. It was like car models, like Selena 7, like Diablo, like a couple of like blue Diablos, like Murciélagos, C5 Corvette convertible. I had a Z4. Like, I've always been loved cars and stuff, and it was always like, and I used to have like a car binder, a car club in elementary school, like just took pictures offline, printed them, and it was just my books. I've always like I always only ever knew like exotics and facts about exotics. That was my like car life.
Gotcha.
And when I turned 16, I was like, I want to have a car. I was like, cool. Got into the BMW life, learned a little bit about the E90 platform, learned how to do intake and what it meant to little very service level shit. And then eventually got my BRZ when Calvin got his. Like, I'm selling my car, getting that car. Got one for pretty cheap used. And then just started wrenching on that, learning everything. I did my first like trunk install, hood install, header install, exhaust install, tires, wheels, suspension. Everything was learned on that car. And then, the channel kicked off. It bloomed from there. I got my 350Z. Then I got an RX-7. I don't know the timeline. But since then, I've had like 20-something cars. And yeah, it's just dive bombed into a really bad progression of way too many cars at one time. And we just filmed like I just filmed like my first car collection video last week. I'm editing it right now, where we had 11 of the cars out there, and we like went through all.
Oh my god, 11!
Yeah, we're still missing some too. So I was like, this is like a partial. We're still missing some, but yeah. So there's a lot now. It's an issue.
I love it. Yeah. So, what's the car that you've always wanted? You finally got it.
Aventador.
And it wasn't what you expected.
Oh. No. Okay.
Aventador still?
Yeah, no. Fuck, dude. I don't know. I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think of shit that I've don't know.
So let's talk about the Aventador.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a car that you always wanted.
That was just like, wow, if you ever make it in life, you're having an Aventador. That was like, you have fuck you money. Like, you have an Aventador, like, what the fuck? Like, flagship car, fucking ridiculous. Like, the Murcielago was my dream car growing up, but as shit ages, I was like, and they came out with the Aventador in 2012. I was in high school. I was like, fuck. That car is like, fuck you type of shit.
Yeah.
So that was always like the car for me. And I always tell, like, in the last few years, I was like, oh, like I might be able to make one happen. Like I started making like some real money, and that was a car that when I was thinking about getting it, I got it I bought it for myself for my 25th birthday, and it was a car that I bought just for me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't buy it wrecked. I didn't do this. You know, I was like, I'm gonna pay the full. I'm gonna get the one I want. I'm gonna pay for it, and I'm like really not gonna make videos on it. Like it's gonna be a me car. I've only ever made like 5 videos of my Aventador on YouTube, and people don't see me drive it much, but I drive that car like off camera, like more than anything else. And it was just a me. It was like a good job, kid. Like here's the car you've wanted like since you could like actually drive. And so I just went and bought that car, and still have it today. And I think from this point forward, I'll never not have an Aventador. I'm probably going to sell this one for an SVJ pretty soon, or an SV. But once having it, that's just that's just my like, I like think back to myself as a kid, and I'm like, here you go. Here you go, King. Like
well, that's like great to hear, man, because that's definitely my trophy as well. And most of the trophies that I've ever gotten, the luster kind of wore away after a few months.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
But I look forward to just using it as a daily, and the luster wearing off, and I'm just my Aventador's fucking dirty right now.
Yeah, I know. I'll have all my friends over from high school or whatever, and I'll like just casually be like, oh, like, now I'll like say like a Lambo or like the Aventador in the sentence, and they're like, fuck you, dude. And like it's so like just normal now. It does, but it like moments like those always like make me realize, like, oh yeah, fucking Aventador.
You're doing it, bro.
That's sick.
You're killing it.
I'm like, that's real life. That's cool.
You got a lot of stuff going on, bro.
Yeah.
Tell me about Street Hunter Kit.
Yeah. So Street Hunter was, Street Hunter is our business we launched last year. It's pretty much an aero parts business. Makes body kits and stock components, lips, visual exterior mods, stuff like that for cars. Something I've always been interested in, and kind of like started my love was out from like Pan Am growing up, like that type of like I've always loved it. I've adored it, and then eventually like stars aligned. I've been in the industry now for 7 years. I've met not everyone, but you name an area and I know them pretty well. So just being so blessed to the journey, I've been able to like allocate bits and pieces of people that I'm like, creating something like this could be very possible. Like this is the right guy in every area. It just needs someone to turn the key. So like 2 years ago, I got to go see the Toyota Supra A90 before it ever came out with Toyota. I got to see it before the world, a year before they even announced it was coming back. And they're like, this is your like testimony. We want your opinion on like how it looks. And they had it in this big white room with an NDA. They took all my phones. They took everything from me. I was pretty much naked. And they're like, these are the cars it's going up against. Like, what do you think? Like, what are some things we need to like alter X, Y, and Z? They started picking people's brands that they thought were like, and like big people, and they're like filled a certain category. Every person had a category they were after. And I was, I guess they're young one, I guess. I don't know. I got to see it, and I was like, I just saw a car no one's ever seen before. That is going to be an amazing car. I'm going to want it. It's a new Supra. At that point, I think I had my Mark IV Supra as well. I don't know. But I was like, I started just making shit up. Like I remember, I was like, I'm gonna remember every fucking corner of this car. And the moment I went home, I fucking drew it out as best I could.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, holding a piece of paper. I'm like, okay, we have a great idea here. Let's start designing something for this car. So like, fast forward, eventually, like we decided we're gonna do a full kit. Met up with the right people. Worked with John Sabal on designing. I was like, I word vomited my imagination. I was like, can you make this to what I'm saying? And we designed it, and it was created. And then we 3D printed the kit, first in the world to do a 3D printed first mold, then made molds off it, then created it, and then launched it at 2019 of SEMA last year. And then since then, we now have over 100 customers just on our super platform on Street Hunter. And then this year, our C8 platform was supposed to launch, but SEMA was canceled now. And we were going to be like, we had so many people that were going to have C8 Street Hunters at SEMA this year, which we kind of got shafted. But yeah, we have stock body components for the Super now, wide body components for the Super now, RX-7 components now, C8 components now, and we have some other stuff dropping very soon. So my inspiration was Pandem, and now I'm trying to plan their space. I respect the hell out of him. Mir is an amazing guy. I've talked to him plenty of times. I'm still run Rocket Bunny on all my cars, but there are certain cars where I'm like, this could be done so much better.
Yeah.
Doing it our own way is very important, and staying true and authentic. But it was also a good learning curve too, because now I understand and I respect the authenticity of parts. I went through that hurdle in life where I learned about, like, this is why rep is bad. This is why kits are $6,000 to $8,000. It's not because they're saying fuck you. Like, for some of these guys, like that is what their shit is worth once they are done building it. Everyone has their own way of building shit, but I learned what authenticity really was. So that was a really big like inspiration for Street Hunter. So yeah, now I have my own parts business of wide body and cosmetics and stuff, and I fucking love it, and I hope we take over the world. I hope that Street Hunter is the next household name. It will be.
Yeah.
Not that I hope it will be.
I love
Give
it.
it 5 years. We're gonna be on every car.
All right, boys, I hope you're enjoying this episode. We got to take one break for our last sponsor and our newest sponsor, Automotive. Piecing together the fuel system for your build can be a difficult task. Luckily, Automotive has your back with everything from replacement fuel pumps to fuel systems that will support up to 3,000 horsepower. Wow. Automotive's engineers have developed a solution for your build regardless of power level. If you're looking to make the switch over to E85, they have every part that you need to build a system that will be there when you need it the most. Need a custom fuel system for your daily that turned into a project car? No problem. Guys, I know we have a lot of new listeners today, and if your daily has turned into a project car, leave a comment, man. Let us know what you got, and let us know where you steered wrong and how you went down that dark path that we all go down. So if you guys can, please just check out automotiveinc.com, and you can check out some of their newest products, such as the brushless pump line. It's quieter pump, less heat, and it lasts longer than traditional brushed motor fuel pumps. They range from the A1000 all the way up to 10 gallons per minute for 3,000 plus horsepower. And if you don't need anything that crazy, you can check out the Stealth 340. It's the top selling pump that they have. It's a high horsepower, so 700 for EFI and 1,000 for a carburetor. And if you just need a crazy setup, you can always check out the customization shop, and they can literally create a fuel system for any build. And if you have a race team such as Pro Drifter Matt Field, and you are on the off time and you want to get all your pumps and filters and all that ran through, you can check out their rebuild program. You just send it in, Automotive does their magic, and voila, you're winning races just like Matt Field, man. So make sure you guys check out automotiveinc.com or check them out on Instagram at Automotive. And if you want to save some money, use the code DTWD at checkout for 10% off. Now let's get back to the show. That's so crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Your story is insane, dude. Just
thank you. Yeah, it's
like everything that you've been through and what you've created. Like, guys from back then when you had the BRZ kit, they should have just let you. Or it's just marinating right now, guys. You know?
yeah,
Beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, it's what set everything up. That all the bullshit I went through set up success for every single corner of what is today. Every like business venture that I have is from a mistake I learned.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I always say a smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, if you can learn from the mistake of someone else, it's always better. But I don't think you really ever really absorb and comprehend and really like learn it until it's you.
You got to go through it.
You got to go through it, dog.
All right, brother. I know we got to get out of here, but I got to ask you the important one.
We got time, baby.
We're rocking still? Let's
time.
rock, baby.
We got time.
I can go 5 hours.
But hey,
all right.
I got time. Time. I just got the okay.
So, TJ Hunt, staple in the community. Everybody knows him. Watch all the videos. You have all the cars that you want. You have everything that you want. What's your motivation nowadays? I can't imagine it's money.
No. Like if it was money, I think it would have ended a long time ago. Money's dope.
Yeah.
And money solves temporary issues. But the biggest motivation is just like I keep wanting more. Like we're about to launch I'm about to announce and launch a new business starting January 1st. That's been in the making for like 5 years.
Oh my God.
And it's finally coming into fruition. I'm very excited about it. And it's just like having these ideas, being in the industry where like, it's my life.
Yeah.
Like people are like, I always laugh when I see comments like, oh, TJ doesn't work on his cars. It's like, bro, I fucking do it every day. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, I don't hide it. Like, it's everywhere. Like, I get so confused when I see that shit. I'm like, what are you? It's my life. I do it more than you. I guarantee it. Even if you're a mechanic, I still work on cars more than you. I do it 7 days a week. So like I'm in this space so much, and there are always areas where I'm like, oh, that fucking sucks. Yeah. And why is that not fixed? Or like, oh, that's a good idea, but if you did it this way, it'd be a million times better. So I'm always like seeing shit that I'm like, why are you the way that you are? Why has no one done this better? And it's just about, and that's a big thing for Street Hunter. I was like, it takes 6 months to make a kit. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, why is it they're not making it easy for people to install these kits? Why is there no source of authenticity when you buy these kits? Why do you think Street Hunter doesn't fucking make it to order? It's always on the shelf. You spend $8,000 today, you'll have the kit tomorrow. That's not fun waiting. And like every certificate, every like serial stamp, like there's areas around, and making it cool and doing cars that aren't old, doing like, that's how Street Hunter was born. I was like, there's a huge gap that I see how they do it. I respect it, but like I think there's a better way of doing it. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Hunting Company. Just the way like quote unquote merch is done. I was like, let's fucking make that way better. So that's everything that I've like quote unquote created or like has started a business venture. It's been because I've always just keep doing it because there's areas that things that we've done way better. So let's do it. And I thoroughly enjoy business. Like I thoroughly enjoy like crunching it out and like figuring out how to make it work, finding the right numbers, like finding the right people, making it like streamlined, like reducing expenses. I love it. I've found a real passion for business. So that's kind of what's fed everything to keep going and going and going and going.
Did you feel like you managed to make something that you didn't think you can before, and then you did it again, and now you know the blueprint to make something come from nothing to something?
Yeah, I mean, Hunt Company alone, I remember when I first started that, it was with a different partner, and it was a whole different thing. I didn't really do anything. Sure, my name was on it, I was promoting it, but I didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And I learned it that way, and I hated it. And then eventually got out of that and then redid everything myself. And then, you know, that has slowly grew to the monster that it is today and how that's ran. But that was all from like learning it one way and reteaching myself another way and whatever. I think that kind of answers your question, but
yeah, I mean, I guess the parallel that I see with what we do is like I've created something, so if I want to create a podcast,
you have the foundation to start.
I just know what I have to do.
It's simple.
To make it
someone's
succeed.
like, I want to do this, like how you do it? I'm like, it's easy, just like you need to do that. Like because I've started like LLCs, like S corps, trademarks, infringement copyright, like all these, like this like separate taxes you're doing out of state is what you have to. You're going to do pop-up shops, you're going to need like this type of like X, Y, and Z. You're going to do overseas where you're going to need this type of shipping. You're going to have policies, you're going to have return. Like I just know it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know at all. I'm learning every day. Like our team and I are figuring out better ways to do everything every day. But like I know enough where it's like, if you want to start something, that's fucking easy. And if it's automotive based, I'm like, I know exactly who to turn to make that part, to fill that gap. Like you just need to assemble the team. Very easy, per se.
Now you mentioned something, the pop-ups.
Yeah,
bro. Do you realize like how crazy it looks, or is it just normal to you?
So desensitized, and it's my like biggest downfall.
Bro, you go to these shows where you guys are gonna have a tent and you're signing autographs or taking pics. That's what's going on. That's the event, and everything else.
I know that. That's a people.
Does that cause an issue with like
with them,
the shows and things like that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
You're too popping, bro.
Well, like, so last year, no, last year, the year before, last year was our bigger one, but we did a full tour last year. We did 14 cities. And pretty much what we did is we like went, there's, a couple like big car events that, they'll do the same show. It's a traveling circus. They'll do like, 12 cities and then plus a few others. So they come to me and they're like, yo, we want you to be at every show. And I'm like, okay, like this is how much it's going to cost. Like you want our whole team there. Like for us to do my operation, I need to ship a car. I need to ship 5 people out there. I need hotel rooms and I need this and that, X, Y, and Z. And that just covers the cost of us being there type of thing. And I'm like, and you're going to sell, 1,000 more tickets. Like, it has to make sense for us to, it has to make sense for me to stop making videos here for me to do it, to go somewhere else and make that whole thing. And yeah, oftentimes the shows, and they'll admit it, they're like, we had more attendance for you than our own show, which then questions, why aren't you doing your own show? And that's a whole different, and people, like, we've been thinking about that for years. That's a whole different rabbit hole. That's like a whole nother fucking discussion.
Yeah.
But it's nuts. Yeah, it's always crazy. I think the biggest downfall is I'm very desensitized to shit. But I mean, when I see it, I'm like, wow, like, that's what 1,000 people looks like standing in a line. And then I realized, like, oh, we're doing videos, we'll get like 500,000 views, 1 million views. Like, those numbers don't mean shit to me anymore. So, but then going and seeing a city with just 1,000 people standing in line, you're like, whoa, like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, it doesn't hit me like everyone thinks it would. Like, oh, you're living this life. I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I guess I'm here, but like, I'm just so focused on like each person, I guess. I don't really ever like absorb it enough where I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a gradual thing, over the last 5 years, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you get to this point and, from the outside looking in, it's like, dude, look at everybody's here to see you.
Yeah.
But I could just understand what's going on in your head. I got to do this. My guys are over here. Sabrina needs change. We're figuring it out. I'm taking pics. This convo is going a little too long, man. We got a long line. I don't want to be rude to you. And it's just, you got a lot of stuff going on too.
I'm just like, so I'm not scattered, but there's so many other things I'm paying attention to at the same time. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I went back because of COVID this year. We canceled our whole entire tour, but we went back and we looked at some of the stops last year in the videos, and I was like, fuck. And I can't tell you how many like big brands would come up to us and be like, who the fuck? Why are you guys selling so much stuff? Like, why are they all here? And some of our partnerships that we were today started because they approached us at a show and they're like, what the hell is going on? Like, how do we get a part of this?
Yeah. I love it, man. Yeah. Now, I was jealous of you not long ago. You got to hang out with Mike and Logan. What was that like, dude? Yeah. Logan has turned into one of my idols, bro. And it's more so of the way that he turned around the incident in Japan, and the podcast as well. And just the
I respect you for saying that, because a lot of people are like, dude, when I posted the photo of me and him, every comment was, fuck you and Logan Paul. Like, fuck, can't believe you, TJ.
Really?
Go look at the comments. They were nasty.
No, dude, and I understand.
And the video comments were really nasty.
I understand why Logan did it. It was just a bad choice. But when you're a content creator,
caught up in the moment, it's really easy to like, and that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
But he is awesome. It was really cool to see someone on like mainstream media, to see the way I studied a lot of like, when we're there filming together, like, I can just mentally see him and understand, because I do the same thing, how he does his shit, how he films his videos, how he like choreographs every scene in his head, how many times he'll say the same thing 10 times over to find the best clip. It was amazing to get to see that perspective, and it was great. It was really cool. Mike was also really, really cool dudes. They're super chill. Logan's a little more quiet. I think people, I mean, it's all, they're not, I mean, they're people. Yes, when they're filming for their own show, which take that for what it is, but they're very cool. They're very nice. They weren't arrogant. They weren't whatever. They were just like me and you.
Yeah.
Like, they're just super cool. So that was really awesome. And yeah, just Logan's progression since Suicide Forest, which was a definition of cancel culture, to him coming now being on the trending page of YouTube every day for Pokemon cards, his impulsive show being what it is. I mean, it just shows the toxicity of the internet, and how 5 days on the internet is a I might be saying it backwards. A year in real life is 5 days on the internet type of thing. Where like, shit blows over. They're always looking for the next victim to take down. And, you know, finally they transferred off of him and went to someone else, and he was able to focus on himself and come back even stronger. And respect the fuck out of him for that, because that is, dude. I mean, what I had was hard, but that's the whole world. That's a whole different game.
Yeah, when everybody's after you, dude.
Yeah, so that's a whole different.
That was about the time that I just finished Mike's book. He wrote the book. I forget the name of the book. Awesome book, but I got to meet that guy, dude. It's just those kind of stories are the ones that help me keep pushing on.
Absolutely.
Because you read that kind of stuff and you're like, bro, I've never gone through that. And I'm crying over what I got going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good, you know? And then it's dope to see that the relationship that they do have. Because although Logan is more famous, more rich, he's still a younger guy. And the things that Mike has, him being, you know, 10 years older, it's invaluable. I don't care how much things you've done, how long you've been around. It's just like you can still get something from someone else.
100%.
And then to be able to get like to have that like OG there and be like, yo, to check you on point. Like, hey, you're looking at things wrong, because I'm sure Logan has so many yes men around him.
Oh fuck yeah. Yeah, everyone around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are two very amazing people, and just to see the way they work and how they operate and their dynamic together was awesome. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah. And I love seeing the show and him putting on like the homies and things like that.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my next subject. All the homies here, man.
Yeah.
How Calvin, is that your man, dude?
Yeah.
Bro, I had Calvin on the podcast. I was surprised that he came, because it's definitely a trek. Very interesting dude.
He is.
I was interested of him before, but my mind changed once we sat down at the podcast. I understood who he was as a person. You watch the channel, you see him. He's a goofy guy,
but
funny.
He's a whole different human in real life.
Dude, he's like years ahead.
He's an old soul.
Yeah, I love it, man. Big shout out to Calvin, dude. But tell me about him. How'd that relationship start?
So, dude, all my closest friends to this day and all my closest friends on the channel today are all my friends from high school.
Got you.
Because remember I told you, I said in college I didn't have friends.
Yeah.
That was never a thing. It was never on my like priority list. So all my good friends today are all my friends from high school. And that was before the fame, before the money, before all that shit. So, it's easier to keep them keep the relationship the same. Calvin and I have been like best friends since like high school too. I think around like sophomore years when we all got cars, we were always interested, and Calvin was always good with tinkering with shit. So like we naturally was like, hey, I have this install. Like, do you want to try and do it with me? Like Calvin was the only one who I was like, you're smart. Like I'm not. You could probably figure it out. So that we just started tinkering with shit early on, and yeah, the moment like he got a Beersy, like we just started naturally like fucking around with it together and just learning together for fun. And that's what kind of started all of our install videos from like that point forward. Was, you know, we always was doing it just because it was our fun time. So and then when the channel got bigger, there was opportunities for us to like explore different things other than your typical 9-to-5 job, and so we took that leap of faith. I think I remember I dropped out of school first, and then like a semester went by. I was like, if you want to drop out too, like I'll happily like pay you, like we'll make it work, but like if you don't feel pressured, like no need for you to do that.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like I'd rather like take a chance on doing what we love to do and find a way to make it happen. And yeah, I'd never looked back.
It's fucking awesome, man.
It's kind of crazy. But and all my closest friends today too all work for me.
Yeah.
Which is like a weird thing. Like I think a lot of other successful people in my kind of category too all have the same thing. It's a very dangerous game to play.
Definitely.
But yeah, all of my friends in some way or shape or form, and these aren't like newly made friends. People are like, well, they're your friends because you're paying them. It's like, no, we were friends way before, and we've all had an opportunity to do a job that is fun, and we have our own environment, and everyone for the most part is doing a job for working for me that the college degree was for, in a way. So that's a whole nother crazy thing. And I always told our friend group from start, I was like, if there's a way where I can have everyone work for us and no one has to work for someone they hate or whatever, you know, everyone's their own boss here. Like, sure, they work for me, but I'm like, they do their own out, they get their shit done, and we, you know, move from there. But it's an interesting game to play. It can be very, very efficient and awesome and valuable, but it's also communication. We talked about is like has to be a million bazillion %. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can definitely agree with that, man. And it's definitely playing with fire sometimes. And at the beginning of my career, it was like that. But
Calvin and I have gotten into it before. I mean, we you know, not to say like, you know, I mean, I argue with everyone.
Yeah.
It's not like it's perfect. And that's when it's like, okay, when you take a step back, reevaluate the situation and figure out what needs to change. Like I said, it's a dangerous game to play. It's not fun having conversations like that with your friends who are also employees and being like, hey, I need you to step it up here. Or, you know, I need you to, you know, fix this, stop doing this. I need you to do more here. And it's tough.
Yeah.
Very tough.
Oh, man. You know, I haven't even looked at my notes.
You have notes?
Yeah, I did. I did have notes. Somebody's actually calling me right now. I'm going to look at it. But, dude, it's so refreshing to talk to you and just to be able to relate to you and all the things that you're saying. And it's just, it shows that the path is there. Mm-hmm. For everybody listening. If you want it, you just got to go out and get it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is people are like, oh, I want it, but I don't know how to do it or don't have the time to do it. And I'm like, bullshit, dude, check yourself. Like, everything that you're doing in life that isn't, you know, like watching TV, watching the sports game, playing Call of Duty, like, I don't know, like going to the bar every week. It's like, cut everything out that is considered a hobby and put it towards this new passion you want to make work. And you'll be like, that's your first step. And a lot of people don't want to sacrifice. Like I said, oh, there's one of the cars.
Nice.
That's what I said in college. I didn't have friends. I didn't party. It was school and work. And the work was my YouTube. That was all it was, full time. So anyone can make it happen. They just have to understand what it means to really dedicate your life to what you want to do.
Got it, bro. We touched on everything.
Okay.
Except this one.
Okay.
Guys listening right now, Tom Smith from Yucatan.
Damn, he's
listening right now.
I did the same thing with my vlogs. He's gonna be fucking stoked right now.
And he's like, you know what? I can do that. What should I do to start out, TJ? What is some advice that you could give somebody to not only become, you know, what's the word? I don't even want to use it. YouTuber.
Just do what they want to do in life. I don't know.
Whatever you want to do in life. What is some advice that you could give them?
I'll tell you what worked for me. What was scared for me, I was scared to make the leap. I remember dropping out of school was very tough for me. And I had two things that I always was very like, that always were very heavy on me. One was, I feel like if I didn't take the opportunity of what I had at the moment with YouTube, I would never have it again. Mm-hmm. I was like, this opportunity that I have with the channel going the way that it is, the progression that it is, I have the moment now. I don't know if I'll ever get this moment ever again. If I don't take it, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And then following that was, I'm leaving school. I remember talking to one of my other friends who did the same thing I did, but in the fitness world. Christian Guzman owns Alphalate. For people who know who that is, you'll understand the progression that I'm saying. But I talked to him about it, and he was like, when I dropped out, what I always told myself was school would always be there. This opportunity wouldn't. So let's say 3 years, 4 years fails and I need a job. You can always go back to school. Sure, you have to start over, but you can always go back.
Yeah.
And that opportunity was not guaranteed you'd always have it. So when I really understood that, I was like, fuck, there's no other option for me but to take this opportunity. Like that's just it. And I didn't want to lose that. And I think just going towards it, I never had a clear path, and no one ever will, but I think it's important to just, I mean, everything's doable with the internet. You can Google anything you want to know. And it's just, and it's more easier said than done. It's like, okay, well, I want to start making coffee. I don't know. Yeah. How do I do that?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's the next step for you to make coffee, but like, as a general rule of thumb, the first step would be like looking up like what it is to how do you make your own coffee? How do you wholesale? And it's like figuring out like how to sell and just make the groundwork. And then you have to go out in the industry. I used to go to every Cars and Coffee, every car meet, everything. I used to just get myself as involved in the scene as possible, whether or not I knew it would be beneficial.
Yeah.
So you never know who you're going to run into. And network. All my biggest deals and partnerships, corporate wise, are on network. Someone knew someone who I filled the niche that they needed, so I was there. Same thing with starting your business venture. What is it? You're only 6 people away from anyone in the whole entire world. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
So like, just get out and just talk to people. Be like, hey, I want to do this. Do you know how I would do this? Or if you know someone who's in that space who's doing something kind of similar, may not be the same things that you want, but is even remotely similar to what you kind of maybe think you want to do, go talk to that person.
Yeah.
That's so important. That's it. And you will find your answer, but you have to take that scary risk of like trying something.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna put you in the hot seat one more.
Okay.
Ready for this one?
Sure.
All those cars on your channel. You got Lambos, Ferraris, Subis.
Which one? You can only keep one. Which is it?
No. Why not do a Honda build, bro?
I had an S2K. What the fuck?
I mean, why don't you do a Honda build?
Because
that doesn't count, bro.
No.
S2000 doesn't count. We need an EK something.
Here's my thing. It was just never it for me. That car, the people who I see do those cars are like, oh yeah, like I grew up with my cousin or my dad, or like this was my first car. That there's a reason why you went there. I never had that. Never. When I grew up, I was never like looked at them, never knew anything about them. And when I first got into cars, I was immediately into the Subaru platform.
Gotcha.
And I think if you start somewhere.
Yeah.
Like you don't start from Subaru and then go to Honda and then go to Toyota. I mean, some people do. That's gonna sound bad, but I meant like they're all in the same playing field. And normally you take one step up. You would go from like there, and then you would go to like an M car, like one more expensive tier up. Like you've had that car in that money tier. Oftentimes that's like your first car, then you jump to something higher. Like, what do you drive now?
The M8.
There you go. You jumped to a higher class that like, is this as fast? Is faster? You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. So I'm not saying like you people don't go only drive. There's a lot of people who just do like all similar financial builds in all different genres. That's not what I was trying to say.
You said you people.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, you Honda people. I just
Clip
never, I never knew anyone with it. I never had any friends in it. I was just never exposed to it.
What about Mickey?
When I met Mickey, he had that one Honda, but you know just as well as any other fucker in the whole entire world, he doesn't drive it. And it never leaves the garage. And when he did, it has a top speed of like 8 miles per hour. And I'm just not interested in that. Like, I was just never exposed to that world. So there was no seed planted.
Gotcha.
Like, I was straight into the Subaru world. So I loved STIs. I loved the boxer motor. And that's why my progression never went to Honda.
But it seems like you've touched on every genre. You don't think about that.
I don't like front wheel drive. Period. Like because I used to do car reviews. Like I used to always review people's cars. That was like one of my big things starting my channel. And I always remember when I drove like Fiesta STs or I never drove any Honda cars. Someone's gonna clip. Hey, you did this Honda Civic. I don't think I did. I knew I always hated front wheel drive. So just that alone, like usually crossed out Honda.
What about all wheel drive?
Is there a Honda that's all? I don't know Hondas.
I'm going to bring a K-Series turbo all-wheel drive Honda over here, and you're going to drive it. All right, let's talk about business-wise. You're missing a huge market of the automotive community. Once you get that, you're king dingling, bro.
I knew you were going to say that.
There's Honda guys that don't watch anything else.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. It's just not... And maybe at one point might be. I really want to get a Type R for Street Hunter. I'll tell you that I'm looking at buying one like very, very soon.
Like a CTR, like a '96 CTR.
No, like a new one that will actually produce money for the business.
Got you. Whatever. If it's a Honda, whatever.
Like dude. I'm thinking about getting, and I don't like old cars. I don't like old cars. I like new shit. And you're like, what did you have an RX-7 and you have a Supra? Notice how there's only 2 old cars, and like those are like the biggest staple cars in the whole entire world. Yeah, I'll have those. But I just don't like old shit. No. I really hate. I'm such a tech savvy person. I just like new stuff. It's never happened for me. I'm sorry. Honda community. I know you text me all the time. Why don't you do a Honda build? I'm sorry, bro. I don't want it.
I think maybe one day the YouTubers are like, Frank, shut up. Don't tell him to come over here right now.
He's gonna steal all our viewership. I don't know. I just haven't gotten into it. Shit. Sorry, hate me for it. I get it.
Don't, bro. Everybody loves you. This is Downtime with Downstar, bro. Everyone loves you here, man. TJ, awesome conversation, bro. You know, you could see everything on the vlogs. I could see your life, but to actually have an hour and a half sit down and to hear, you know, true emotions and true feelings, I'm sure everybody listening can relate in some way.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I appreciate your time, dude.
I appreciate you coming down here. Like I said, I should have been on podcast 150.
It's all good, bro. It happens when it should.
Yeah, but I'm happy to be here, and we've been wanting to do this for a very long time. So
hell yeah, man.
I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
Thank you, bro. So for everybody listening right now, where can they go find you at?
If you just search TJ Hunt on any platform, it should be don't go to a fake account. If it has 10 followers, it's not me. So look for the one that's active and has a lot of followers, and that's my account. That's how you can find it.
I love it, bro. Dude, from an older guy, looking at what you guys are doing, you're motivating me, man. And I appreciate that. And it's amazing to see, dude. You guys are blazing trails that I never even thought were possible. You know, I want to start the podcast, I'm started it. I'm doing it. I'm thinking where it's going to grow to. And, you know, I'm looking at people like Adam 22, man. I would love to have what he has. But then I look over to you and I'm just like, I could relate way more to TJ, and he is fucking killing it, man. So it's definitely motivation for people like myself, you know, and I appreciate it. And everything that you've always done for Downstar, man. It means so much to me.
Of course. You mean, dude. And also, too, he's not giving himself the recognition. Every time I've ever asked for anything, he, like, overnights it, like, I'm like, oh, fuck, I ran out of this hardware. I need this for tomorrow. And, like, Downstar's always been there, and it's our number one choice in all the cars. And that's why they're on every fucking car.
Thank you.
I love it. And I use Downstar hardware in a bunch of places I shouldn't be. It's because it's so much easier than using
use it everywhere, bro.
I use it. I don't do nut and bolts anymore. I just fucking flip the rubber walnut upside down. I just fucking I use it in places I shouldn't.
Man. And that's a relationship, bro. It's give and take.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be there for them, and they got to be there for you.
I've always appreciated it, so thank you.
TJ, thank you, brother. All right, guys, we're out. Peace.
Bye.